today's video, I'm going to explain why transition moments for highly elite and professional athletes are so incredibly hard, particularly the one into retirement. Let's jump into it. So this week I had a wonderful conversation with a referral from a good friend of mine. So this athlete comes in, she's now in the corporate world, but she is 1 year out of 2 All-American selections in beach volleyball. And we had a very powerful conversation in which tears were shed on her end, and it was very, very emotional how strongly she wishes she could get back to the feeling of being at the pinnacle of her sport. And so I want to share with you a little bit of kind of a model on the whiteboard of what this actually feels like and looks like. So if we look at a timeline of life, right? So this is lifetime, can't spell, but that's okay. And we look at sort of the trajectory of what a career looks like, right? So some people will kind of go more than others, but the idea is that this is when retirement happens, and then the rest of your life is spent doing what? Potentially corporate work, potentially other things. And I hope this video resonates with the pro athletes out there who have retired, because this is something that I surely experienced. But as you're looking at the different things that help you go from one level to the next, some things might be you have your foundational pieces of your skill acquisition, you have mindset, you have your discipline, and that just means your schedule and things like that. You have nutrition, you have purpose, you have goals, you have team environment. But even in individual sports, it's going to be the same, right? You're going to be training with other people. So team environment and other people working towards that thing. You're going to have, I'm sure many of you will be thinking of other things, right? You have identity. You have pride. And all of these things are helping you move to the upper echelons of your career. And in her case, this was national final and All-American. Now, if we take, let's say retirement is just for the sake of it right here, where does this black line go? Well, for her, she feels like she's hovering somewhere in there. And the goal would be to bring her back up to peak performance. And the reason I think that this is happening down here is because she has now lost, or feels like she's lost, all of these things. Because when we lack purpose and we lack something to focus on, and we lack a reason for focusing on that thing, and then we also lack all the feelings that come with focusing on that thing and choosing to focus on that thing, often a really lofty goal like being an All-American or a national finalist, what's the purpose, right? So we dive into this purpose thing. And this is a little more of a casual video, I understand that, but what I'm trying to get at here is the amount of work it takes to get to that level, even if you're extraordinarily talented. It's unbelievable. It's often unfathomable for most people. How much discipline, how much mindset and goals and purpose and the nutrition and the rest and like the whole schedule of an elite athlete, a top performing elite athlete. Now you're just what? Going to LA Fitness to lift some weights for what? And so my strong suggestion to you is to do a couple different things. And I'm not a psychologist. I am not somebody who is, I'm not a registered psychologist, but I did study psychology in school, and I've actually been in this position before. So I think maybe more than anybody, I'm qualified to actually talk about this. Number one solution for me is going to be ideal future self exercise. Doesn't have to be the one that I put together. It doesn't have to be anything formal. But in this ideal future self exercise, you are going to think about, number one, who that ideal future self is, who surrounds that ideal future self, and also what is the environment that they are in. So that's the aura, the vibe, right? Like new kids are saying the aura, right? The aura, the vibe of this person. Who is that future self? What is the best possible version of you outside of your sport, outside of the thing you do for work, whatever it is? You're separating who you are from what you do. And you're trying to push them as far away as possible, because what you do will inevitably be influenced by who you are as a person. But discovering who you are first without your sport, without what you do, is the key and will cascade a life full of fulfillment. The second thing that I would strongly recommend is start to think about who you can serve. And this is also ideal customer profile. Very, very salesy word for basically saying, who is the previous version of you that you could teach something to? Because as hyper competitive people, in order to get to the level that you are at as a professional athlete, you have to learn so many hard and soft skills. And so there are a ton of people in this world who could use your education and your knowledge base. And so who is that person? Who can you serve? Then the third thing, put them together and evaluate where are the tether points. So I'll draw this in green because it means some financial stuff, which the reason I always go back to the money piece of things is because it is nice to be compensated for what you do, obviously. So this is your ideal future self. This is going to be your ideal customer profile or the person you want to serve. And this is going to be money opportunities. So what they want, what that ideal customer profile needs, etc. And this is a very dumbed down version of a 3-step process that might help you get out of a feeling of lacking purpose, a feeling of I go to my corporate job or I'm living my life, I'm going to the gym and I don't have any goals. This ideal future self exercise will clarify most of that. Then, if you're still not feeling like you're worthy or working in the right field, or you can't catch that fire that you felt in your sport, then we think about, okay, then who is the person you want to serve? And maybe there's a business you can join that aligns with your ideal future self and the person you want to serve or you're most qualified to serve. You can work with that business. Or the alternative, which is what I chose to do, build your own business. And that's when you put them together, you get into this point here, this magical center area of best of yourself, the person you can help the most and the most profitable all together. So hopefully that helps. It's a little bit of a behind the scenes because I know this is a thing that I certainly struggled with of a long time. And this athlete that I spoke to this past week, who's a beach volleyball All-American, she was in tears for like half of our call. And we had literally just met. That was the first call it was like a total cold introduction. And immediately some of the questions that I was asking her just like waterworks. And not only do I respect her for that, being able to be emotionally open like that, but it's also very clear to me how powerful this stuff can be when applied to somebody who really struggles with what they want to do with their life. If you want any sort of these resources, feel free to DM me on Instagram or comment in the comment section. The Ideal Future Self exercise is available on my website, so I'll leave a link down below for that, and you can just download it, work through it. If you have any questions, email me, noah@noahkavanaugh.com, and I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you for those athletes who are at the elite level, thinking about transitioning, already transitioned into the real world, and are ready to rock and roll and get back to peak performance. Stay dangerous, y'all.